Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast straight to the apex. The guys are here, they're talking Formula One, talking news, which I'm led to believe there may be some news. Races, that's what we want. Race reviews, race previews, races gone, races to come. Predictions for those races, and everything in between. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Click all the buttons now. If you get to the end of the podcast you're like, actually it wasn't for me, then unclick them. Simple little process. Anyway, enough from me. You want to hear from these guys, the experts. So, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
Hello everyone, welcome to Straight to the Apex, episode 7, brought to you by CookieCast. James looks puzzled. I think 7. Let's go with 7.
I do the math.
Let's go with 7. Brought to you by CookieCast. Thank you to CookieCast for having us. I'm leading this week, your host Mark Wilkin. Joining me as ever is Tony in his oversized white t-shirt Rawson.
Hello. How are you doing?
And Mr. James Stainforth, who, when we joined the Zoom meeting, I thought was going into a WWE entrance, as he was right at the back of the room, and I thought he was going to have entrance music. Coming to screen. Whoa, are you going to do it?
I'll do John Cena. You ready?
Yeah.
No.
You can't see me. But there, the link to the wrestling podcast, we've got it in there. Welcome.
That was
boys.
terrible. That was absolutely terrible.
Tony's disgusted. So, are we well?
Yes. Busy. But we are well. How are you?
Fantastic. Did we watch the race?
Did we watch the race?
Yeah.
Or race is, because, let's be honest, we had a sprint weekend. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, late night action in Miami. Has any of you guys seen the price list from the Miami GP for food and drink?
Yes. I am not paying $200 for some chicken wings.
James.
I'm sorry, what?
Right. I'm just going to read you, before we get into it, obviously, F1, the race for the people to come, to watch. Miami, obviously, last year, I think we mentioned that it was a bit elitist. They had the fake harbour with the boats on the blue sheeting. It was a bit more fake this year with all the celebs there. Obviously, we had some hot laps with Lewis Hamilton and Kendall Jenner and Ed Sheeran. I think got stuck with George Russell, unfortunately. So, James, would you like some warmed nachos? $180. Would you like an F1 platter? So you get some sliders, some secret sauce, some ribeye quesadillas, crispy chicken tenders, and some honey mustard. How was that? Do you fancy that?
Yeah.
$290. You look like you want some chilled prawns. $290. Would you like to wash it down with a can of beer? Just a regular can of beer?
No.
$55.
Fuck.
Or, as you are the sophisticated guy of the bunch, would you like some tequila?
Yeah, because after
They want it all.
$12,000.
Right, all of these is for like one portion, right?
Yes.
$190 is for one person to have warmed nachos.
I mean, I think that was a share one. I think that might have been a 2-person nacho thing. However,
I mean, it's cheaper than the cinema.
what a joke.
I would be wanting some special treatment from Camilla de Bello or Jerry. I'm paying $290 for a sharer and some platters. Sorry, Jerry. I need some of the ginger spice.
I mean, let's be honest, unless we have 1 million listeners this time next year and get invited, I don't think Miami's going to be on our radar anytime soon.
And if it is, we're going to need to win a lottery or something just to...
Have you...
we'll take Paco.
I mean...
I think we might need Paco.
I mean, I'm trying to listen here, but I can't hear fuck all because somebody's in the kitchen having a fucking full-blown fucking conversation.
We'll get to that person because there's rules that need to be put in place, but we'll save that till later. So, news. Carlos Sainz has denied rejecting an offer from Audi.
Yeah, bollocks.
Hulkenberg.
Everybody's in it. Everybody's in it.
Hulkenberg has signed for Audi.
Yep.
Thoughts on Sainz saying he's not denied Audi? Do you think he's looking for a Red Bull seat for a year? Because obviously Hulkenberg goes in 2025. That's when Audi join.
Nah.
I think if Audi's approached him, maybe he hasn't denied. Maybe he hasn't said no. Maybe he just said, "Can you wait a bit?" Especially at the moment. I mean, surely he's got to be sitting there thinking, "I just want to see what other offers I get."
Yeah. I think the fact that it's 20. I mean, he's not. Let's be honest. Hulkenberg's signing for 2025, so next year. When obviously. Is it Audi next year or is it Sauber next year and then Audi 2026? I can't quite remember. But say it was Sauber. I think it is Sauber next year. Because the new rules are another year, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah, the new formula is 26.
26.
So Sainz isn't going to sit in a Sauber for a year. I think that's what it basically is saying. I'll join you in 26 when you're full Audi. We've got the new engines, the new regulations. It's active aero. Maybe that's what he's thinking. And maybe he's thinking, I want a year at a top tier team as I'm getting kicked out Ferrari for Lewis Hamilton. But is he going to get that?
Nah.
Really? I can't see why not. I mean, I've said it a few times. I mean, up until this weekend, he's the only non-Red Bull driver to beat Max Verstappen for the last 2 and a bit years.
Yep.
And until really this race as well, he's outperformed the golden boy, Charles Leclerc, which everyone's still going nuts about, and I don't quite get.
Nope.
Driver, but like you always say, Matt, got a crash in him.
Yep.
And yeah, I still think Ferrari, if Ferrari was just going to get rid of one driver, I kind of think they got rid of the wrong one.
Do you think if Merck had been in a stronger position? I mean, they brought updates to this weekend. Kind of debatable if they worked, if I'm brutally honest. If Merck was still up there, Sainz would probably do a swap with Hamilton. And he'd go sit in Merck for a year and then he'd go to Audi for 2026. Because Merck are in the absolute doldrums that they are, it basically leaves him the second seat in Red Bull, which he's not going to win a championship because Max Verstappen is clearly factor numero uno. And Ferrari is the only other seat that can possibly challenge. So I'm not sure what is out there for him. If I'm brutally, I can't see Red Bull offering him a year. And even if they did, he ain't going to win nothing.
No, I can't see Red Bull offering him anything. Mercedes probably would, but in fairness, after what they offered to Max, I think any other offer they make to any other driver, the driver is just going to see it as an insult because they're not going to offer them kind of numbers to anyone else.
No.
And there's that, and let's face it, the WhatsApp fucking remote controlled car is faster than them. McLaren, no, they're happy.
Yep.
I just think he's going to sit out for a year.
Possibly. He might go he might go do something else for a year.
Do something else for a year and then come back fully focused for Audi.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That could possibly happen because, like you say, what is the out there for him? It's slim pickings.
There's a shit ton of motorsport outside of F1, isn't there?
Well, yeah,
he can keep himself busy. And he's probably right as we speak. He's probably tapping into loads of people's groups, DMs, teams. I don't know.
Not the same DMs that Christian Horner sends, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So the big news that broke last week, Adrian Newey has announced he's leaving Red Bull.
Yes.
Doesn't have to work in gardening. What? Shock. Don't have to work any gardening leave. So he's negotiated that.
Thank you.
Zach Brown said in a press conference this weekend, this is the first Red Bull domino to fall. As there's plenty of CVs going around, something that Red Bull themselves sent a press release out saying, I don't know what you're saying, all our major players are tied down to long deals. What's going on? What's your thought?
Well, this weekend, I think, was very significant for many reasons. And one of the main reasons was this news officially breaking. I think this weekend signifies a dawn, a new hope. Not just because of the race winner, but Adrian Newey leaving there as well. I mean, you could say, and I think I can't remember where this was mentioned, but it was mentioned somewhere. It's the end or the beginning of the end. We mentioned it was the beginning of the end. It's now officially happening. The beginning of the end of an empire, and not even the bullshit, the cleverness, or anything of Horner. Whatever he says can mask it now. It's all out in the open. Newey is the first domino to fall. He didn't win the race this weekend.
Whoa, spoiler.
It's all just a little spoiler. If you didn't know that, have you been living under a rock?
Quite possibly.
And this is it. It's happening. It's actually happening. I don't think he'll go. I think he'll go to Ferrari as a super consultant, 1 day a week type of job, just kind of nebbing in and out. Probably has a villa in Italy somewhere. I don't think he's going to go to Aston Martin.
He's already rejected that. They offered him a big bucket load of money, as brought by Tony Rawson on this podcast.
Well, he can see exactly. He's got enough knowledge and experience and time in the game and people around him to understand that Lawrence Stroll is a businessman. We spoke about that before as well. He is just trying to, business-wise, make it as big as Aston Martin can get it, so he can sell his stake at a larger price. And Newey is a huge asset, and that'll blow his price up massively. So Newey can see that bullshit. I think there's an outsider's chance that it could go to Williams, where he started. And I think if Williams can give him some equity, I think he might go there, you know. I think he might enjoy just, again, nebbing in and out, helping out here and there. It's not gonna. This might move the team up a few places, but they're so far off it. It's not gonna dent the top 2-3 teams, is he ever? And that is 65. Remember, he's 65. He's done everything in F1. So at the end of the day, my final say, he didn't really have to go anywhere. He didn't have to do anything. He could just fuck off into the distance and live on a beach somewhere with his wife.
Well, that's all so far. Every time they've asked, all he said is, I want to take a break. He's never elaborated anything else. It's always, I want to take a break, I want to take a break. I've spent a lot of time doing this. I want some me time. Which, mate, like you said, you're 65. Yeah, granted, you deserve a fucking break, mate. I mean, F1's a demanding sport anyway, because it's not like football where every other weekend you're playing at home, so you're not really going far. You know, it's... You are traveling.
Playing away, Christian? Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But he spent a lot of time staring at that Ferrari in the grid walk on Sunday. I know he always looks at all the cars. He spent a lot of time looking at the Ferrari. This weekend, he was asked at a press conference as well, what are your thoughts on what Hamilton said about you? Because Hamilton said, I would love him to come and, you know, he would always be on the top of my list and stuff. He said, I would have said, I'm absolutely flattered. I've always said my only regret is that I don't have Ferrari on my CV. So, and he still kind of says, I'm still saying, I'm going to take a little break, and then who knows?
It's funny. So you say obviously the Lewis comment in the press conference. Adrian had that interview with Martin Brundle this weekend, like an exclusive with Martin, and he was talking about, like you say, did he quote Forrest Gump? I think. You know, he's tired. Totally get that.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I guess I'll go home now.
But he had time out because he stepped away from the F1 pit wall to work on the Red Bull supercar, and then all of a sudden he come back. He's a bit odd at the minute, his role at Red Bull, because so Red Bull are saying that, well, behind the scenes, people are saying Christian Horner's pissed off that he's not getting the recognition he deserves. Red Bull are saying, well, actually, we've got this full team behind Christian. He's behind Adrian. He's the top of the pyramid type thing, but all the other girls and boys do a lot of work and we wouldn't really miss him. Apparently, Adrian's took that as, oh, right, okay, let's see then. You can kind of see it's almost like they're playing each other off. Obviously, Christian's come out saying that, me and Adrian are still best mates. Don't think I believe that. I think that's a load of shite. And Adrian's not leaving because of all the scandal. Also think that's a load of shite. Like Martin Brundle said, Adrian's got integrity and he doesn't agree with what's going on behind the scenes at Red Bull. He's tired of the fighting. There's a lot of news and stories and things coming out. Like you say, I don't think he'd move to Ferrari, but you make a real good point, Tony. If it was a consultancy role where he just kind of oversaw his arm and said, okay, this is what you think. However, because let's be honest, 2026 is ground effect cars still, but movable aero. That is literally what Adrian Newey grew up with. That is his absolute.
It's his bread and butter.
That's his mastermind subject. If he was to go on mastermind, it's literally that. Is he going to want to give that opportunity up and miss out on the regs returning? No. Why is he leaving Red Bull after 18 years? Probably because he's fed up and pissed off. Don't know if he wants a new challenge, but like you say, if he did.
I honestly think he's been sat at Red Bull. He's like, you know what? I have created Red Bull dominance not once but twice now. However, the dominance this time is so ridiculous that no one can really get close to him unless, I don't know, a bollard seems to be in the way. I think he's genuinely bored, and then all this shit's kicked off because, well, Horner can't just keep it dry.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
He's black. He's black champion.
Even.
It's allegedly.
I can kind of see if you was Adrian Newey and Red Bull and everyone's saying, well, it's not all you, Adrian. All the success isn't down to you. It's down to your part of the big machine.
In T-flat.
It is, but then equally, if you worked under Adrian, like we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, so Adrian could have a team of 10 people that all report to him. Like we said, he might sign off things. He might say, that'll work. I don't think that'll work. But if you was his understudy and you may have designed that floor, I mean, we all saw the floor in Monaco last year, how amazing it was when they lifted the Red Bull up. Then if he's getting disgruntled or she's getting disgruntled because, well, Adrian Newey's getting all the bloody praise, you don't know which side do you fall on?
Yeah, I mean, I've never worked in an engineering design company, so I don't know how. I've worked in other areas. Haven't worked in that area, so I don't fully understand his influence on the final product. I imagine it years ago it would have been heavily. Now I don't know, but again I don't know because I'm not in that industry. I mean,
I will never know.
I imagine if he's top of the tree, he is the one that signs it off. So he will give the questions, the hard questions, to anybody below him, and things will get moved, fixed, changed, whatever from his say so. Everyone will look to him for an answer, for a direction. I think that's when I said Horner's clever in what he says, bullshit in what he says. The cracks are starting to show. Now, 100%. Like, you can't cover whatever he says is not coming off the right way to somebody somewhere at Red Bull. And Newey leaving is the first big crack. Absolutely. The second big crack, maybe, because of Max and Marco and his dad are starting to spin stories about he's going to leave, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. I just think, just to finish my little point, him at Ferrari would be perfect for him on his CV. Him influencing that car for the new regulations solidifies his legacy for the next so many years. Him and the winnings, the championship potential, all the potential winnings from that car and from that next part of his legacy will absolutely finish off his career and absolutely cement him as the greatest, if not the greatest engineer in F1 and motorsport. So
pretty much what I was about to say. I agree with you as well with the whole, cracks are showing, dominoes falling, it's the fall of an empire, all that kind of stuff. I think you're absolutely right. But yeah, going back onto my point as well, which is similar to what you just said there, Tony. If the guy is bored and he wants his next challenge, what is the most inviting thing other than
Ferrari?
Yeah, answer that.
It's if Infinity Stones.
You're going to bring back Ferrari, but you also potentially could give someone their 8th world champion.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That Infinity Stones.
Infinity Stones, stars are aligning.
The most prestigious team in F1, with one of the most prestigious drivers in F1, with one of the most prestigious engineers in F1.
I know.
It's just fucking if Lewis wins in the Ferrari that Newey's made, oh mate, we're all gonna jack each other off, and we're just gonna have a massive bukkake. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Oh, okay.
You've took it somewhere we're not doing.
That's a dream. That's a dream destroyed.
Is that why you're wearing a white t-shirt so we don't see it?
Got the other rumours as well then, and thinking about it now, because obviously there was those rumours beginning with when all the WhatsApp messages got leaked, and it was like, oh, who do you think's done it? And now it's like, oh, Newey might have done it, and
he doesn't have to use WhatsApp. I don't know.
He still writes letters. He still writes letters.
But he can't use WhatsApp.
No, 100%. He does not know how to send a WhatsApp text. No chance.
No way.
You never know. Maybe
well,
it could be like he could be WhatsApping Jerry. He could be going, "Hey, I want some of that good old ginger spice," and she'd be like, "Yeah, I want some of that Old Spice."
He's the godfather of her children,
Yeah,
service for ladies and gentlemen,
so
including Brooke.
I think really it's Red Bull's time to sink and swim. I mean, Zach Brown's comments were very like, what is he just? I mean, is he stirring the pot? Probably. But if you was a designer at Red Bull and Adrian Newey's left, it's your time to shine. So let's see. But let's be honest, it's still going to be Adrian's car next year regardless, because this year is an evolution of the first car they designed 2 years ago, and it's step by step. All the engineers have to do there now is carry on that path, and they know that they've got a quicker car.
I disagree. I think he's off. Red Bull's on the 10. Again, this weekend's results. I think if your stock is as high as it's gonna be, if things start going to shit, then I'd start sending the CV out now. I'd start hitting up other teams now. Can you make a move now? Then next year, when everybody wants to move and fucking Red Bull's gone off a cliff and Newey's in fucking Barbados on a beach, it's all gone fucking tits up.
I don't.
His contract is until halfway through next year, I think.
Yeah, but they could have made him. He could have left at the end of this year, and he couldn't have gone to a team for 6 months. So that would mean he'd miss all the deadlines. He'd basically still be on gardening leave when all the deadlines needed to be in for the 2026 cars. So it would have. We wouldn't have felt a benefit of Adrian Newey designing until 2027.
For
some reason, Red Bull have waived that. Now, is it loyalty to Newey? As Newey said, if you don't waive that, certain things might get leaked.
Well,
you don't know. You don't know if he said to Christian, "Look, you've been a dick. Just let me go because I can't. I just can't work with you."
Is Eddie Jordan his manager? I think it is, isn't it?
Yes.
So again, he's been there. He's one of the fabric of the sport. He knows people. He knows people, doesn't he? He's been there that long. Holy shit. He could pull some fucking moves, couldn't he?
Eddie Jordan can literally sell sand to the Arabs. Like, it's ridiculous. Totally agree.
And he Red Bull stock. Red Bull, let's be honest here, Red Bull Racing, all their success, majority of their success, has come from him. It's come from ideas and.
Well, they're saying it hasn't, but they're saying this is why I can see that he's getting pissed off. They're saying the success is not down to him.
A large part of it must be down to him, surely.
You don't become the goat of design, because let's be honest, I mean, again, Sky all weekend was saying, look at the teams he's worked for, look at the cars he's designed, the Williams for Damon Hill, Mansell, obviously. He blames himself for Senna's crash, but that was his car.
Vettel's career. All them wins, all them championships, built on that car, built from him.
One man is not a team, but he is the overlord. He's going to see it all, And if some guy comes up to him, a spotted teenager straight out of uni, and says, "Oh, I think this is the fastest way on the wing," and he looks at it and goes, "Well, that won't work," and he's renowned for doing sketches on a drawing board, like old school, and he sees air the way it passes through cars and round cars. Straight away, he'd say, "Well, no, but that won't work because of X, Y, and Z." Oh, shit, yeah. So I don't know how Red Bull can turn around and say, yes, we've had success, but it's not down to him. It's got to be. And maybe that's what's pissed him off, because he's not getting the credit he deserves.
It's just sheer arrogance. I mean, even Horner turned around and went, "I'm not bothered about Newey going. At the end of the day, I'm the architect. I'm the one who's brought all this in, blah, blah, blah." It's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
you couldn't do anything when you was a fucking driver, mate. So
that made me laugh, because I just thought, out of all of this, you still think it's you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not Max, it's not Adrian, it's not Sebastian that's won them all the titles. Christian Horner thinks it's Christian Horner. Wow.
Yeah.
Wanker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got 5 minutes left. Shall we? Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll go sprint shootout, sprint race. We'll do all the race things after the break.
I think so.
While we've got 5 minutes, I would like to bring something to people's attention.
Okay.
Last week, at the end of the podcast, a certain person failed to send in their predictions. I reached out to the overlord of the IFA, the newly appointed overlord of the IFA.
FIA,
even. FIA, sorry, not the IFA.
No, we should have left him there. He would have said
actually. Andy's the IFA, and I'll try and figure out what IFA stands for. But the overlord said, did we have any rules in place for someone constantly breaching, not having predictions in, which we didn't. However, that day, if we all agree, that day's today. Tony, stop smirking. If you fail to put your predictions in, do we all agree there's a 1 point penalty? From today, so she don't get banned from last week or the week before.
I would agree with that. If predictions are ready for, I think how the overlord said it was before recording starts.
Yep.
Then,
I mean, did she get any? If you don't have your picks in by the podcast, you don't have any picks, so that you're automatically at a disadvantage, aren't you? You just got 0.
But
then that would just mean that Charlie just doesn't pick ever, and she wouldn't. There'd be no penalties.
Yeah.
This is the first time Charlie's got points.
Yeah, don't deny Charlie some points.
Yeah, but Charlie has the opportunity to pick favourites every week, and she chooses to pick other people.
There's a very important word in there. She chooses to pick. She picks. Look, Tony, it's 2v1, whatever you say. So
solicitor to deal with this shit. Fucking hell.
Head of the FIA, the IFA has put you on warning.
Well, if the head of the IFA speaks, then his word is huge, isn't it?
He is Sheikh Cook. Sheikh Cook has spoken, right? To be fair, he has got the beard of a sheikh. He could be a sheikh. He could be a sheikh.
Could be a sheikh.
The sheikh has spoken. Beth, if you want to play this game and put in predictions, get them in. Otherwise, you will suffer penalties.
Wow.
Well, we've ended part 1 quite serious.
Somber note, yeah. Very somber note, yeah.
Tony may not come back for part 2, or James may get a notification from the FIA. But
to be honest,
after this news,
like a little bit.
So,
as spokesman, he has to break the news.
He does. It's got nothing to do with us. However,
Thank God for that. I love no responsibility. It's fantastic.
We need I need to come up with what IFA stands for now. Right, I'll try and come up with that.
Try and come up with it.
We'll all come back with a suggestion. We'll all come back with a suggestion. That's your homework during the break.
Okay.
So what?
I've got to think. Mate, normally in the break, I go and make a drink and I spend 5 minutes on TikTok.
Well, I mean,
time.
Yeah, you've got plenty of time. So on that note, we'll come back after the break and we'll actually talk about some racing.
Deal.
See you on the other side.
See you later.
Bye.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling. Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
Welcome back to part 2. So, what have we thought of IFA?
Independent Federation of Straight to the Apex.
Interesting. James?
Where was the A? You had you missed off the A.
I didn't.
You had independent.
Independent Federation of Straight to the
Apex.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went with the Institute of Federal Accountability.
Fucking hell, that sounds a bit fucking formal for this place.
See, I was a bit boring.
And, we'll balance it all out.
I forgot and then made up It's Fantastic Andy. But kind of like yours, Tony. The independent...
Got to be honest, Mark, that was absolutely shit, your suggestion.
It was terrible. The Independent Federation of Apex.
A lot more.
I know. To be honest, I had to move my car because Katie come home and I totally forgot.
So there we go. That's absolutely fine.
Yep.
Completely take that back now.
Right, okay. So, look, we've got a lot to get through. So, sprint shootout. Sprint shootout. Shock horror, Max Verstappen was pole in the sprint shootout. Leclerc second, Perez third, Ricciardo fourth. Ricciardo fourth. Well done, Ricciardo.
He was quite happy with that, and he made a bit of a dig at good old Danica, didn't you? Or Danica, or whatever you want to call her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's annoying.
Oh, that girl.
She was like, oh, Ricciardo's just, his career's over, blah, 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 blah. And then she interviewed him after getting P4. And it's nice to actually quieten down a few people. You know exactly who he was referring to there.
Yeah. I quite liked the look of the RB this weekend in the Miami colours. Looked very good. But no, good strong fourth from Ricciardo. Sainz was fifth, Piastri sixth, Stroll seventh, Alonso eighth, Norris ninth, Hülkenberg 10th. Missing from that list, Russell and Hamilton knocked out in Q2. And the rest of it was just the usual suspects. Double exit from Merck in Q2 after upgrades. Anything from sprint quali?
No, all I can say is we didn't say anything about the Ferrari livery. There was a lot of hype of it being completely blue, and it turned out parts of it was only blue, which was very disappointing.
I liked it in the
blue.
I just didn't like the wheels.
Yeah, it grew on me. The
wheels just looked like they just quickly threw them in at last minute.
The full blue overalls looked a bit weird.
But if it was blue, if the car was blue, it would have suited very well.
You could,
but
being a Ferrari fan as I am, I prefer the Ferrari red.
Yeah,
we're all big Ferrari fans here. We prefer Ferrari.
Always have been.
Always have been.
Fantastic.
I did nearly buy a Ferrari top from an outlet near Birmingham. It was a Puma one. It was £35. I was that close to buying it. I was like, I can't. I can't.
Man.
Not yet.
Hype.
I know.
Honestly.
I'm on the train.
End of this season.
Anything else?
No, nothing else.
No. So sprint race. Sprint race. 19 laps. Max Verstappen won. Leclerc was second. Perez was third. Ricciardo held on to fourth. So really, the top 6 were the same as quali for the sprint race. So that tells you all you need to know for the sprint race. Few incidents. Yeah. Bottas went to the back of the grid with a free pace penalty for impeding Piastri and Albon. For impeding Piastri, Albon went to the pit lane due to changes with his car. Ocon and Leclerc colliding in the pit box on the way to the grid. What's your thoughts on that?
Just Ocon, isn't it? Ocon.
Don't think it was Ocon. I think it was his engineer kind of wave. Oh, you're clear. Almost like you're guiding someone to reverse. You're like, keep going. I didn't see that there. Sorry. Like, you trust your engineer, and he just pulled out and whacked Leclerc, broke his wing, and got a 10-second penalty.
Similar to Bottas, wasn't it? His engineer didn't say shit to him.
It was a new engineer, and there was one point I can't remember if it was one of the qualifying or in practice something where he clipped someone who was coming up on the inside of him, and Bottas said, a little bit of notice would have been nice. And it's I think it was Brundle who even said, got to agree with him there. When you're driving at full speed, you're not constantly checking your mirrors. Your engineers are meant to be saying there is a car coming behind you, so then you start checking them, and he didn't get that.
Perez, 10-1, made an error, let Ricciardo through, but then Perez got him later on. Right, so I'm going to whiz through this, and then I want your opinion. Lewis Hamilton down the inside. Then you had the 2 Aston Martins colliding at the same point, which Alonso was quick to blame Hamilton for, and then said, it's because he's not Spanish. He wanted to say something else, but he stopped himself because we all know what Fernando Alonso wanted to say.
Wow.
Yeah. To me, the accident was happening between Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, and Hamilton had nothing to do with it. And the 2 Aston Martins colliding knocked Norris off the track. What's your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen it, and I agree.
What Hamilton had done, Hamilton was taking the line. If I remember rightly, Alonso was in the middle. Stroll had gone wide, and then for some reason just decided, I'm going to go back for the racing line.
He didn't use his mirrors. We got this the other week.
Yeah, it was another one of those race concertina effect incidents.
Stupid. I mean, Hamilton, you saw the gap. He went for it. Seconds before that, the Aston Martins were hitting each other regardless because, like say, Lance Stroll doesn't know how to drive around people. I think that's the fairest way to put that. He doesn't know how to drive around other cars.
Yes.
And poor Norris got knocked off and was out of the race. Then that brought safety car out. Hamilton then stupidly left a gap and floored it in the pit lane. Not sure what he was doing, so he got a penalty for that. Magnussen-Hamilton battle.
I was going to say, you cannot You cannot not discuss Magnussen.
Fuck Magnussen.
Let's not talk about his after race interview. Forget that bit. On the track, what's your thoughts of the battle itself without the knowledge of what happened after the race and the interview?
He went too far with it.
Yeah, he fucking did.
He only went too far with it.
If Lewis Hamilton
was throwing the penalties, 10-second penalty. After that point, they're like, don't fucking care now because that puts us in 19th. Let's get Hülkenberg some points. And it's just like, Kevin, do what you can to keep him off, keep Hamilton back. And he just took that as, right, okay, yeah, and exceeding track limits, just driving straight across chicanes. And then after Hamilton took him, he then drives pretty much straight at him. So Hamilton's got to come straight off the track. That's not race driving. That's just being a prick.
That's doing because it worked the other week, a few races ago now, and he wasn't driving as much of a dick as he was this weekend. Because it worked, they've gone, do it again, but worse. Like,
yeah.
Then factoring what Magnussen said after the race. Quite liked that. It was brutally honest. Don't like racing like that. But I had to do what I needed to do for my team. Deserved every penalty I got.
So me and Chad discussed it, and I mean, I say discussed it. I was calling Magnussen quite a lot of names during that.
Yep.
And saying, yeah, but you're going to remember the guy hasn't got a seat. He needs to do what the team are asking so that, other teams will be interested in. And I get that. Still doesn't, to me, warrant driving that recklessly.
You're a racer. You could have... The move you said about him where he absolutely tore down the inside of Lewis and Lewis had to bail out and go off the track. That could have been dangerous. In the 70s and 80s, that could have resulted in a death.
Sergio Perez did a better job of that with shit tyres, and we all know which race we're talking about here.
Yeah, we do. Yes, the one that thou shall not be named ever again. We don't talk about that race. Yeah, it did. There was a line, and Magnussen was so far past it. He should have got a penalty, even for his comments after the race, saying, "I know what I did." Almost like a race ban. It's almost like a red card, or in rugby or whatever.
Oh yeah, fucking hell! It's happened before.
They said it in quali, didn't they? That they said, after the comments he made after the sprint race, the FIA weren't happy with that. Sorry, the stewards weren't happy with that. So then they called in Haas to discuss it further, and they then adjourned it for the qualifying, and it was going to be rediscussed after. But I don't remember hearing anything else after that. Now, to me, if I'd have been those stewards, like, right, okay, you want to be a dick about it, then guess what? You've got a 3 grid place penalty, and then Hülkenberg over there, even though he didn't do anything wrong, he can have one as well, and that is your entire team fucking penalised.
To me, I'd have said to Magnussen, you're not driving. Your team's instructed you to do that. You've lost a car for the next race, where the big points is, because you don't deserve to race.
Yeah, fucking hell, yeah. There was no intention.
Get why Haas are doing it.
He was never racing to that apex of that corner. He was never turning to the apex of that corner.
No.
His sole aim was to push Hamilton out. That's not racing.
No.
That's
ridiculous. He might as well have just weaved down the straights and said, well...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've seen a video lately of a fucking old... back in time in F1, and it's a race start, and somebody just literally just pulls to the side and fucking pushes Hamilton off into the grass. He spins, and it's just a fucking pile up, and he got a ban. Like, it's fucking dangerous. Like,
yep.
But Haas.
Any other points from the sprint race?
No.
Did you enjoy the sprint race?
I enjoyed it more than the other sprint races, but mainly for the beginning.
Can I just say why back to back I don't really like it back to back. I enjoyed last week. It's a bit different. Fantastic. So why are we doing it again? Like the next week, the next race. Like it just felt like
they've got to give the people who pay $180 for nachos something for the money.
There could be a very good point. Yeah.
So race quali. This is probably going to be the quickest ever qualifying we've ever reviewed. My notes say nothing of note. It was boring. It was probably the worst quali of the season, if I'm brutally honest.
Yeah.
Verstappen pole, Leclerc second, Sainz third, Perez fourth, Norris fifth, Piastri sixth, Russell seventh, Hamilton eighth, Hülkenberg nav, Tsunoda 10th. Usual suspect knocked out. Anything from quali? Anything else?
No.
Right, move to the race. The race. Hey, we've done well there. We've got plenty of time in the bag, and we're talking about the race. Sergio Perez, turn 1. What was he doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
I mean,
how was that not a crash?
I honestly don't know. I honestly do not know how he missed.
It was like running from your car, running from your front door of your house to your car in pouring rain, and you don't get wet. Like,
yeah, and he's literally booking it down.
Yeah, how did he not?
For anyone that didn't see it, Sergio Perez decided I ain't going to use my brakes in turn 1, and literally
plowed it
in a massive pool of smoke, and must have missed Max Verstappen's rear end of the car by half a million.
It was almost like a trick shot.
Oh, yeah, it was. I'm still amazed now when I watch the video how he did not collect Max. If he did collect Max, could you imagine? I'm
still waiting for that day that Max gets cleared out by accidentally, and just to see his reaction. That'd be worth a weekend of F1.
I mean,
just to see him explode.
You know, when I'm going to use a football analogy, if a scout does some scouting, he'll have videos of football players, won't he? And he'll show it to the coach and say, "Hey, I've got a player for you." Sergio Perez's dad said that Sergio Perez was the most sought-after driver on the grid.
Shit, yeah, he did.
Won't be using that clip, will they? Here, would you like my son as a teammate? Just look what he does. Wow. No.
Every other race, isn't it? Almost every other race, he does some fucking mad shit, but he's aggressive. We said this before.
I mean, 4th in quali in the fastest car on the grid. Not good enough. In the race, yeah, he absolutely bucketed into turn 1, missed his teammates. The Ferraris then both had to basically get out the way because Sainz said, I literally saw him coming in the mirror, and I literally had to quickly do something because it was like a bowling ball, wasn't it? Down a bowling alley. It was ridiculous. Yeah, so interesting start. Then we had Verstappen hitting the bollard.
Weird, very strange. That was again something that you never see from him.
Well, Verstappen hasn't been happy with the car all weekend.
He's complained all weekend.
Yeah. I mean, there was comments after, I think it was after sprint quali, wasn't it? And it really upset the other 19 drivers because he made that comment going, "Oh, sorry guys, I was terrible." It's like, mate, you still out-qualified everyone massively.
Yeah, because what did he say in quali? Something like, what happened to the rest of them? Because that was terrible. Like, fuck it. All right, mate. Calm down.
Yeah. It's like, Christ, if I was shit, what are you? Yeah. A bit of a dick comment. But then when you saw the rest of the week, it's like, oh, maybe it's been genuine. It's not a dick comment. He's just not happy with something in the car. Max likes to get close to walls. I mean, what was he, like a couple of mil from a wall at Singapore last year or something like that? So he was probably going close for that bollard like he normally would, but because there's something not quite right with the car, that's probably what caused it. And then hitting the bollard is what fucked over his steering completely after that.
Yeah, I mean, the bollard itself damaged the underfloor. I think the stump of the bollard hit the back of the floor. And like I say, he struggled with the car pretty much all race, really.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the McLaren looked fast. Got to kind of credit McLaren for that. It looked very fast. Probably amplified by the fact that Max had these issues of his own doing. But yeah, I think amplified the fact that Max's car wasn't 100%, but Norris was absolutely driving the wheels off that McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some upgrades. They had some. I mean, Norris had all the upgrades, and Piastri had half. So they've brought an upgrade package.
It was in the teens when we're saying all the upgrades. It was in the teens. It was something like 14, 15 upgrades are brought in this week.
Yep. I mean, so that's off to McLaren, but like I said, I think maybe that amplified the pace a little bit. People are saying, well, again, if you don't know, then I don't know where you've been, but Norris won the race. Everyone's sitting down for this. Norris won the race. People are saying he only won the race because of the timing of the safety car allowing Norris to pit.
Nah,
I totally disagree. Yeah, totally disagree.
Nah. Granted, it gave him an advantage because he had a shorter pit stop and everything else. Not going to dispute that, but he had almost an 8-second lead.
Yeah, that was
surprising. Generally gets a 16-second lead after 19 laps.
He was the only one in the beginning of the race that was pushing the medium tyres that were lasting, and he was getting faster and faster where other people were going, oh, my mediums are going off, and that McLaren looked like, yeah, I'm not wearing my tyres out at all yet.
As long as they weren't on softs, there was something to be watching out for. But if he hadn't have had that pit stop, Max would have still hit the bollard. And the fact is, he was about half a second faster than Max most of that time. So even if he hadn't have had that pit stop, I reckon he would have probably still got him with, I don't know, second to last lap. It would have been that kind of one. Instead of us sitting there going, oh my God, is he going to keep it? Is he going to keep it? It'd be like, oh my God, is he going to get it?
Yeah.
He's gently closing the gap. So either way, it was going to be an exciting ending for the race, but I don't think you can just sit there and go, yeah, the safety car. But then, if we're going to do this, to all those idiots out there that are going, oh yeah, he only won it because of the safety car. Max Verstappen only won his first world championship because of a safety car.
Oh, he's gone there. He's mentioned the race that shouldn't be.
Sorry.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
If you can say that Norris only won it because of that, so did
and of Michael Massey. Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But how many drivers have won a race because of a safety car?
Look,
it's one of those things. Get over it.
The strategy worked. The mediums. Norris was able to drag the mediums out until that safety car. You know, the Red Bull pitted before. Then, if Red Bull had pitted under the safety car, Max might have had that little bit of an advantage still. But like you say, he hit the bollard. The car wasn't really 100% all weekend. And at the pace that he showed, it'd have caught him. Like you say, he was 8 seconds in front of him at the end. No one beats Max Verstappen by 8 seconds.
True. Very true.
The incident that brought the safety car out, shockingly, was Logan Sargent and Kevin Magnussen. To be fair, it wasn't Sargent's fault.
It wasn't Sargent's fault, but again, he crashes
that he's
Get
there.
That fucking guy out. Just get the fucking guy out the car. I'm done with him. Fucking get that motherfucking yank, teenage yank out that fucking car because it's just ruining him.
We've upset Americans now.
Get the fucking guy. It's his home Grand Prix. No one gives a shit. It's fucking shit. Get him out the fucking car.
And you're upset in America.
Fucking hell.
Get him out the car. Get him out the car. I'm sick to death of it now.
We can't condone Tony Rawson's comments on this podcast. I'm very sorry, Americans. I holiday in America a lot. I like it. I would never call you Yanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, to defend Logan Sargent, he did outperform Albon a bit this year.
He did.
This week.
He did, to be fair.
When
you give him his old chassis back, look what happens. I mean,
I'm sick of him.
Did you hear Max's comments in the room after the race, and they saw Sargent's crash on the screen? He went, I hope they've got a new chassis for that, or something on that line. I was like, wow, Max. Fair play though. I mean, he's right. Piastri Sainz. They had a bit of a ding dong. Sainz was on the radio moaning, asking for Piastri to give him the place back when it was never be given back to him.
Racing. That was racing.
It was almost like he was like leading the FIA or something, like some kind of group, you know.
I know.
Give it back and he won't get a penalty. It's like, are you going to give him the penalty yourself?
Did he say get on the phone to Ferrari?
Yeah. Get on the phone. Get on the phone
give
to
me
McLaren.
The place back and we won't do anything.
Yeah.
You just drive the car.
Maybe that's what he's doing next year. He's working for the FIA. That's why he's not signed for anyone. And that was his job interview. Get McLaren on the phone and get me the place back, and then the FIA won't do anything. Like you said, who are you? Dick move.
Engineer. He was being everything. He was doing everything.
Any other things? Any other points from the race?
The Alpines at the beginning, driving side by side.
Side by side. It was nice to see. I can't believe they didn't connect.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of times it looked like
they all over again.
Take each other out.
Yeah.
Quality.
But at least the racing, they've kind of snuck up the grid a little bit. Like Ocon got 10th. So they've kind of come up the grid a little bit. So obviously they're improving that car, which is more than we can say for other teams.
I just can't believe they've both got a race win. I just can't believe that.
I know. And well, that was a funny race. Yeah, I know.
So, Norris gets first, and it just dragged all that information out again, and all memes and whatnot. And Lewis has got God knows how many, and it's like Gasly's got 1, Bottas has 10, Ocon's got 1. You're like, how the fuck did they win that? How? So
Norris won. Max was 2nd, Leclerc 3rd, Perez 4th, Sainz 5th, Hamilton 6th, Tsunoda 7th, George Russell 8th, Alonso 9th, Ocon 10th. Anything else? Anything else barring the Alpine?
Will Norris win another race this season?
The way the McLaren's looking.
I didn't hear what he said.
Depends how many bollards Max it. Look,
we need to win another one this season. I mean, it's like breaking 100 in golf. Once you break 100 in golf, you're always going for it.
Will he win regularly? No. Will he win regularly? No. He might possibly get a win. Like James said, once you've broken, he's got that duck off his back now. Like the pressure's gone. He might drive a bit more freely. The car's obviously fast. But should he win? No, because the Red Bull still is light years ahead of every other car. If the Red Bull's having an off day again, and like James says, Max hits a bollard, I think him, McLaren and Ferrari are possibly 2nd and 3rd be at the Red Bull. And let's be honest, Perez isn't going to get a win if Max has an off day or breaks down.
Yeah. I just think he needs to improve his qualifying. And then...
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He can win regularly.
Yeah. But I think Piastri could win. I think Norris could win. The Mercs aren't going to win. Possibly not going to win this season again.
No way.
I mean, Merck are still in like double digits. That's how bad they're doing. But if we're going to talk about McLaren here, we're going to talk about how good they've done. Just look at the dominance this weekend. I mean, fastest on mediums through most of practice and stuff like that. But then to finish it off with, one of them won, and then Piastri took the fastest lap.
Yeah. I mean, Piastri obviously had a bit of damage with the Sainz and I think they bolted the softs on, didn't they? But he still took the fastest lap. Like normally, Max just pumps one of them out for fun. And in the same car, Perez in fourth should have done, because then it is a point for Red Bull. But he just isn't. Perez is he's just not good enough. We've said this every week. He's just not good enough. However, he's still second in the drivers' standings. So it's Max on 136, Perez on 103, Leclerc on 98. Leclerc, we've said that Sainz is beating him, but currently over the season, Leclerc's fared with 98 points. So, yeah. So next race in Imola. That's on the 19th of May at 2 p.m. So, yeah. Anything else before we get to predictions?
Nothing else. Let's go.
Can't believe we got through all that. That was a lot of information. So,
credit to Mark.
Predictions. James, take it away.
The only person who got any points this week in predictions was Charlie. That is all. The one person who is awkward enough to never pick Verstappen, and we were always going on about it. We always have Max for the win, every single one of us. She just throws in Norris because she just refuses to say Max. She takes away the 3 points. Not only that, wow. Charlie went Norris, Perez, Sainz. So if you take away the drivers, she went McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari.
Yeah. Well done, Charlie.
She got the cars.
Welcome to the game of predictions.
So Charlie got 3 points.
Yay.
Mark, you had 17, you went Max, Perez, Sainz. I had 16, went Max, Perez, Norris. Tony, you had 16, you went Max, Perez, Alonso. We all got absolutely jack shit.
Yay.
Yay.
So that still puts me a narrow lead. 17, 16, 16, 10, 5.
Yep.
What will your predictions be this week?
Well, question is, has Beth got her predictions in?
As we speak right now, no.
Well,
they could be.
Oh, well.
They could be any second. Any second.
So, host goes first.
All right.
Max for the win. Piastri second. Leclerc third. Next, I'm going to go to James. Or Jiminy.
Max for the win. Sainz second. And Norris third.
Oh.
I know.
Tony.
I'm going to go Max, Leclerc, Sainz.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Some pics have landed on my phone. from a certain...
Oh, what a shame. She just missed the deadline. Unfortunately, see you next week, guys. See you later, back. No. James, do you want to do Charlie's? She was in first.
So Charlie has gone Norris for the win. Sainz second. And Leclerc third. That's not bad.
And what has the FIA scraped in with her picks?
Max to win. Sainz second. And she's put Piastri third. I think she means Piastri.
Piastri.
Greg's.
Yeah. Steak and ale.
Is it Cornish or beef or steak or chicken and mushroom? Steak and ale.
Steak and
right.
Good
picks are in. The book is closed. Everyone has entered the picks this week. It's now official. The Independent Federation of Andy has spoken. We have a rule in place.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I've
Andy.
I've took Tony's and I've gone somewhere else with it. That's what I'm going for. Andy has spoken. The Overlord himself, the Sheikh with a beard, has spoken.
The Eastall Sheikh has spoken.
Yeah, the FIA has been very quiet recently. I'm getting cocky again. I'm not going to say fuck the FIA. We know where that goes. I'm not going there. But a lot of information on tonight's podcast. We've got through it all. Well done, gents. Busy. I don't think I'm here for the next one. Unfortunately, I'm away. But I might try and join you from lands abroad.
Wow.
Oh, I don't like that noise. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so we can't find out. However, tune in next week and see if the FIA has spoken.
Mark might not turn up next week.
I might not turn up again. On that note, gents, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you later, guys.
Bye.
So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done, another one gone. Race is gone, races to come, everything in between. It's a great podcast. I'm sure you agree. The best way you can let these guys know how much you love their podcast is by liking it, sharing it around, subscribe if you already haven't, leave a review where you can leave a review. Tell other people what you think. If you love it, which I know you do, then let other people know. Check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we've got social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with these guys, get in touch with anybody here at CookieCast. Let's have a chat. How's that? Right, that's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
This has been another episode of CookieCast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.